Buenos dias, clase. How are you guys doing today? This is Buen Suceso, and I'm going to talk to you today about this week's assignment. I figured I wrote it all out for you, but I think it's going to be a little bit complicated, so I thought I'm going to go on and explain the bell work that's due Tuesday with you here in this video. That way hopefully it'll clarify, because here's the thing, guys. If you can get a good understanding of the bell work that's due Tuesday, then the bell work of Thursday won't be so bad, but the SLO will be a piece of cake, because literally all of these verbs that are in this assignment are I took them from the SLO. That's due Friday. So I really want to make sure you understanding this. It's still the same imperfect tense describing a situation, but the SLO, because you're supposed to be using a little bit of imperfect and preterite, this is finally the first time where you're actually going to see a little bit of both mixed together, and you're going to have to know the difference between the two. And I don't think you guys know that yet. I think you just know, oh, it's the ABBAs and the IAs. All right, I'm just filling in the answers. But this is where it's kind of taking you to that next level of thinking of, is this an imperfect or a preterite situation? And so that's why I want to explain it all. We haven't seen preterite in a while, so I'm going to talk about that, and then hopefully this will clarify this assignment. So obviously you're watching this video because you're listening to me, and I just explained what I wrote in this paragraph. So, okay. So first of all, the imperfect tense, just so everyone knows, the imperfect tense is the one, I'm literally reading it over here. It describes what's going on. It's ongoing. Like the sentence, it used to be hot last summer. The word used to be is the big one, right? Every time we say used to be. I used to eat pizza every night. We used to dance all the time. These are sentences where we're using aba and ia. That's what you've been doing. So I think this should be easy, because you're like, yeah, I know this. It's the abas and the ias. I got it. I've been doing that the past few weeks. I've been getting great sentences from you. It's all aba, 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 ia, ia, ia. Then we've got a few irregulars, like era and iba, but you guys, even those, you seem to get to know them pretty good. So that's still the same, but now we're going to rewind back to the preterite tense. We haven't talked about the preterite tense in a while. The preterite tense, those are the ones that we did back in January, and they were sentences that were very specific, that kind of like it ended. Like, everyone, guess what? My dad arrived at 7 p.m., or my dad arrived at 7 a.m. I ate pizza last Thursday. So those are, remember the hasta, o, almozaron, iste, y almost ieron. Those are the preterite tenses. So I think your assignment a long time ago in January, when you talked about stuff you did, it was like, bam, it was done. Remember the F word, fui? I went to the mall. It was it. Yo fui al centro comercial. That's it. I went. I'm done. I shopped. That's done. Now, if you used to go to the mall every single weekend, that's different. That was iba. Yo iba al centro comercial cada día. That's ongoing. Iba is ongoing. Fui is went, done. So I used to go versus I went. So what for this assignment, you just have to basically, you're probably like, okay, I got this. This isn't so hard. You're right. It's really not. I just didn't want you to get overwhelmed with this assignment. So I posted a little example I stole from, I just went and Googled and typed in an AR verb, which hablar came up, a preterite and imperfect. So you can see the two next to each other, how the difference is. These are the preterite, haste, o, amos, aron. And then the imperfect, aba, abas, aba, abamos, aban. Okay, so those are the two differences. What do they mean? Well, hablar means to talk. So this is I talked. Guess what, everyone? Yesterday I talked. Here, imperfect. Oh, in class, I used to talk every day. So yesterday I talked to my mom, but at Canyon View, I used to speak Spanish all the time. I used to talk all the time. So see the difference between the two? All right, and then I have an ER little one that I grabbed from the internet as well. Comer. Comer means to eat. So comí, that's something done and past. Today I had Chinese food. Yo comí comida china, right? Comí. Done. It's done. Comía. Oh, I used to eat, back in Jersey, when I lived in Jersey, I used to eat Peruvian food every single weekend. And boy, do I miss that. So yo comía. Yo comía comida peruana. This is yo comí. This is yo comía. This is I ate it. This is I used to eat it. Okay. Ongoing, done. Okay. Get it? The two differences. All right. So What is the assignment? You're like, this is pretty easy so far. Okay. So what I did was, guys, I literally, you should be thanking me. I know right now you're probably cursing at me. Stop cursing at me. All right. Let it out. All right. Now you cursed at me. But remember, this is going to help you for the SLO on Friday because the verbs are all right here on the side. Every single one of these verbs, well, 90% of them anyway, you'll see on the SLO on Friday. So I didn't just grab any random verbs. I grabbed a few verbs. And so what I did was I did some of them for you. So in blue, I gave you the answer. So if you see blue, you're like, oh, she did it already. So esperar, I did it. Why did I do that? Because I wanted to give you a few little examples in case you were confused. The orange boxes, I don't want you to do the orange boxes because those are too confusing. We don't need to know them, and I just don't want to go there. So just skip the orange boxes. And then the black one, you knew that said was fui, but I just wanted you to skip it because fui also means something else. Hint, hint. You probably know what it is. It's somewhere in here. And I thought, let me not confuse you even more for those of you that are already confused. That's why I've just put it's fui, but skip it. So you don't have to do this box. But I do want you to do the imperfect box. And no, it's not fui again. Fui does not go here. So if that's what you were thinking, you have to think imperfect. Now, I know this is confusing, so that's why I want to give you time. Hopefully, you're starting this on Monday, and you have until Tuesday, and you could email me Monday if you're confused. The other beauty that we have that I'm sure many of you are using, in fact, I know some of you are because I can tell from your answers, but you can always Google stuff, like, oh, what does estar mean? Google it, and even though then you'll be like, oh yeah, I knew that. You probably did know that, but maybe you forgot. So anyway, so all you have to do is take the verb like estar and just write what it means. What does estar mean? And then write a sentence. This is the preterite sentence. This is the imperfect sentence. And if you're like, I forgot, what is it again? Well, go back up. Remember, the preterites are the is, the ios, and the imperfect are the ias and the abas. Like this example, hacía. So what does this mean? Well, hacer means it was, right? So hacía mucho sol en el verano means it used to be really hot last summer. Used to be ongoing. That means the whole summer it wasn't hot just one day. It used to be hot. So that's hacía. I didn't want you to do this because it's irregular and it's ugly and it would have just confused you more. So I didn't want you to do that. Let's go to one I did both of. So abrazar. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering, why did she put a little asterisk next to abrazar and llegar and pasar? So I did this for a reason. So look, abrazar, llegar, and where's the other guy? Abrazar, llegar. I think there's one more. Oh, yeah. And comenzar. They have one star. And then ir has two, right? Or two little asterisks, not stars. So I did them here. One asterisk, two asterisks. So the reason why I put a star next to comenzar, abrazar, those are because those were the cargar and czars. And you probably forgot, but it might be coming back to you. Remember, we had the final and it had some cargar and czar in it. So I just wrote it again. Car becomes que, gar becomes ge, zar becomes se, but it's only for the preterite part, okay? Just for the preterite. So don't worry if you're freaking out. I did one for you already right here. So you can see imperfect, nothing happens to abrazar. Just because it's a zar, it still stays as zaba. Nothing happens. Yo abrazaba a mi abuela todas las noches. This means I used to hug my grandma every night, ongoing, okay? Abrazaba, nothing changed. But with abrazar, because it's a zar verb, cargar and zar, when we talk about preterite, the zar becomes a se. Yo abracé a mi perro anoche. So last night, I hugged my dog. Done. I just did it last night. That's it. I could have said I used to hug my dog every night, but then I would have to put it here. Yo abrazaba a mi perro todas las noches, right? But I didn't. I just said I hugged my dog once last night. Done. Okay, but see how abracé has a C there, and even though there's a Z there, if you're wondering, that's why I put a little star so you don't have to figure out who it is. Now you know Yagar gets something, and if you're like, well, what does Yagar get? I forget. I wrote it down, so relax, and it's right there. Gar becomes ge only for the imperfect, so that means only in this one does it get the ge. So that means it's ye, ge. Okay, everybody? If you're saying yo, anyway. Yo llegué. Remember, that's only for the yo forms, but I figured most of you are going to write yo sentences because that's usually what you do. But when it's the imperfect, it doesn't. You leave gar alone, and what would it be? Yo, yeah. What is it, class? Yo llegaba. You said llegaba? Bam, piece of cake. Now you just have to know what that means. All right, locos. So let's try another one. Let's see. Estar in preterite, don't even go there. But what is it in imperfect? Estar is an AR. So what do we do with an AR verb? Estaba. Okay, now just write me a sentence. So see what I mean? So these aren't so bad. So ir gets two little asterisks because ir in the imperfect. Actually, you know what? I messed up. I wrote imperfect, but I meant to write preterite tense. So I'm gonna fix that right now, class. Do you remember? I wrote ir in the preterite tense is the F word. There's your hint. So in the preterite, which is in this box, right? This is the preterite section. Yeah, the preterite. What is the F word? Remember the Spanish F word? Stop cursing at me. It's fui. Okay, hopefully you knew that. If not, figure it out. Okay, but then in the imperfect, it is irregular, but it's not fui. It starts with an I. You were just doing it last week. I'm gonna let you try to figure it out yourself. Yo, some of you probably said it. I'll let you figure that one out on your own. Remember, if you're freaking out and you don't feel like looking at what you did last week, even though the stuff is in there, what I want you to do is you can always just look. I'm going to show you what I do. Just go here and be like, tener imperfect. And guess what? It just pops up. You just tener imperfect. Oh, there it is. Okay, so if you haven't figured that out yet, now you know. And knowing, my friends, is half the battle. Okay, so hopefully I answered most of your questions. There's really not that many. If you notice, I did quite a bit with you, and I wrote some with you right now. So figure them out on your own. A lot of these verbs, you actually should know what they mean. Because we've been using them. There's just a few new ones like llegar. We used it, but I don't know if you remember what it means. Well, aside from that, pretty sure you know what the rest of these words means. But if not, hey, Google it. And then don't forget my little hints with the stars. And that's it, I guess. All right. So email me if you have any questions. I miss you guys. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're doing well and have a great day.